Welcome to the Compliance 911 Show, a no-nonsense podcast discussing hot topics for today's busy compliance professional. It's everything you wanted to know about regulatory compliance, but we're afraid to ask. And now, here are your hosts, Dean Stockford of M&M Consulting and Len Suzio of Geodata Vision.
Welcome to our podcast series addressing everything you wanted to know about regulatory compliance, but were afraid to ask. This is Len Suzio with Geodata Vision, and I'm speaking with Dean Stockford of M&M Consulting. Dean, what interesting topic do you have to bring to the table today?
Hi, Len. I thought it would be a good idea to talk about what we're hearing in regulatory circles and other industry leaders with respect to unregulated use of artificial intelligence.
Well, you know what, Dean? I think that's a great topic and definitely timely, as always. With the increased focus on AI in almost every aspect of life, I'm certain our audience will want to enjoy this topic as it applies to banking.
Yeah, well, I hope so. With what seems like all the focus on fair lending lately, which is regulated, and of course UDAAP's new application of unfairness, bank management regulators and auditors have identified red flags with the use of AI in banking. Some specific to the use of systems in lending process, such as scoring models that are built into systems that may be biased. Other issues have been identified in marketing systems in that they may inadvertently redline the financial institution's marketing and advertising efforts. Both situations, financial institutions would certainly want to avoid.
Boy, I would say so. I agree. AI's use in various systems is starting to become of interest to industry leaders and to providers, and of course to the regulators. I'm certain you have some advice that will be of interest and great guidance for our listeners.
Yeah, of course, Len. I don't want to leave folks guessing by by no stretch of the imagination. I think senior management at financial institutions can and should be proactive in preparing for exams, as you can almost bet that there'll be questions from these regulators relative to AI, and you certainly don't want to be the deer in headlights when they ask these specific questions.
Well, I would agree. In my experience, I'm becoming aware that regulators are asking questions and looking to what extent the bank uses AI in banking systems. And this is particularly true when it comes to fair lending related issues.
Oh, there's no question. You're definitely correct. So let's start with some of the basic recommendations that I have. Uh, First, I would take an enterprise-wide inventory of every system that uses AI and how. I think that's obviously a really good first step. While that might have been easy, 5 years ago, it's probably not quite as easy today as a result of how universal AI has actually become. Given my background in compliance, I'd start with BSA AML department, given that we've always said that that's a pretty significant risk. Then move on to your fraud department, then lending and underwriting, marketing. Of course, you don't want to forget human resources as well in the use of how they would use it.
Wow, that's a lot of prep to get ready for. Do you have any additional thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually laughing, Len, as there is more, but I promise to be quick, and I know I just touched on just a couple of areas where I would start. I think the key, ultimately, like I said, is to start with the inventory. But to further anticipate the examiner's questions, I think management should ensure they've conducted a thorough fair lending data analysis, along with completing their fair lending and UDAAP risk assessments with specific identification of the use of AI in any of their lending or underwriting systems or platforms. That would definitely be critical. Again, I want to emphasize that this is not as easy as it may seem, and as I'm speaking, it sounds a little bit simplistic, but in all actuality, I don't think it's going to be that easy of a task. Unlike rules-based systems, AI is by nature more fluid and more boxish, I should say. A little tongue twisting today, but But bankers may not know exactly how the systems are working. And calls to vendors may prove to be ineffective because I'm not sure that they will fully understand. But you must understand that the risks these systems present can be significant. Examiners will not be totally accepting of the old saying, "We don't fully understand how the system works, but at least we risk rated it high." In other words, there's always more to do. And I think that certainly senior level individuals, compliance managers, and so on should be tuned into this. And while I don't have a great deal of insight relative to this, again, going back to just the first provisions of what I would start doing and taking an inventory and getting that basic understanding of truly what is our risk relative to the use of AI systems and what that impact could be.
Well, I would characterize this as an amazing topic and a confusing topic and a groundbreaking technology that has incredible potential for the benefit of financial institutions, but also incredible threats if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm certain our listeners are hungry for more information, Dean, as well. Do you have anything further to add?
Yeah, just one more parting thought. I got you so excited you've lost your voice, so that's fantastic. But I think management should really strive to understand how underwriting systems work via thorough testing and analysis. By documenting your vendor explanations when you pry or certainly ask the questions of how the systems work, plus the testing results that go along with that, management will make progress in documenting the risks that those systems truly pose to the financial institution. Thank you for everybody that tuned in today. And again, it's one of those areas that's relatively new. There's no real regulation around it. But I think it presents really true risk to the institution if you don't know what or how AI is playing a role in your systems today. So thank you for listening. This is Dean Stockford from M&M Consulting.
And this is Len Suzio from GeoDataVision saying thank you for listening to today's topic. And please let us know of any additional topics you would like to hear about in future episodes.
Thanks for listening to the Compliance 911 Show. If you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. While you're at it, please give us a like and review to help others find the show. As always, links are in the show notes, and you can always find us online at compliance911show.com. Follow M&M Consulting and GeoDataVision on LinkedIn for all the latest news and information on compliance hot topics.